Okay, so what did we just watch? We watched my mechatronics project, which is a lot of cameras and bright shiny lights and a whole bunch of wires and computers. I'm just turn these lights off so that way I'm not blinding y'all with the halogens. I need those for that little hidden camera, which watches as the pendulum goes by so we can track it using high-speed video at 1,000 frames per second. What all we have here, let's see, the pendulum, the center thing, goes up and it rotates, and up there attached to the bar is one of our rotary encoders that when you do quadrature has 10,000 plus and minuses, the A and B whenever you use it, and it's hooked into the back of my XPC over there, which you can't see right now, which I'll show it to you when I get there. But over here we have the host XPC, which on the screen you can see the recorded position versus time, and that's in angles versus time, that the rotary encoder that I showed you recorded. The yellow is a crossover cable that I have plugged into the back of the XPC. The keyboard is for the XPC, since, you know, the laptop has its own. This is what the XPC is displaying, which the top one is the angle, that for this case at which it stopped. And the bottom is my trigger, digital trigger, so whenever that black box sends out the plus 5 volts to the XPC, that'll actually go to 1. And that's what starts the XPC recording, because as you can see it says stopped right there. And so we'll make our way over here. This beautiful little box is the XPC that I use, from which I boot off of this handy USB floppy drive. I know, nobody uses those anymore. The rotary encoder is plugged into the breakout board, which are those wires with the tape on them. My trigger is this green wire that goes up to the top, and the white wire, which is the common ground. Bunch of wires back here. What do we have over here still? Oh, there's the camera box, the controller, which is, the camera's over there, you can't see it. But the same plus 5 digital trigger that goes to the XPC also goes to the camera box, which, if you give me a minute to walk around to the other side, I can show you where it plugs in. But that is the camera BNC. The one on the far end is my XPC readout. The middle is my sensors, power for the sensors there and there. And the one on the end is the data from the sensors, which that's why there's cardboard on it. So that way the proximity sensors can see the pendulum as it swings by. Walking around, those are all of my cans that I like to crush, and I'll do one of those videos next. But this is from what it looks like from the inside of the pendulum. And so this guy is the top sensor. It sees the pendulum go by first, and then over here that light will light up whenever that happens, and then as it continues to swing through, the Arduino that's inside of there waits for 1 second for something to break this guy, and then if, namely pendulum, if it breaks it, then this little black box goes, hey, you need to record. That light lights up, and then they start flashing, which I can show you manually. I can do that right now. But to arm it, it's that button. That noise was so when I'm on, you can't see my thumb, when I'm on that side pulling it, I can know, okay, it was indeed armed. The red button is the manual trigger, which when you manually trigger it, it does that. Essentially does the same thing whenever the sensors trigger it. But the reason why I came over here was the BNC connector that goes to the camera controller right here, which is my trigger in. As you can barely read that fuzziness. This is the manual remote for the camera, which all I use that for is to push the camera ready button, which is right there. Again, blurry. Apologize for that. It's connected via the camera box is connected via FireWire to my laptop over here, which the video feed is here. This is the recorded video, and so what I'm going to do, you can barely see it, there it is. If I drag this all the way back to the beginning, I will hit play, back up a little bit. It's going to take a little while because it doesn't actually start recording, or the pendulum doesn't come into view, but there it goes. That's what was recorded whenever I just pulled the little rubber handle up there and it went on its merry way. So it's just coming back because over here, when that little red line gets to the end, it just repeats. So it didn't actually do that. That's the basic gist of it. Lots of wires everywhere. Yeah, nice spaghetti wire. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. mark.kesky@gmail.com. Now, I'm gonna crush a can for you, so that way we can hopefully capture the dynamic crush of a can. Alright, see you in a few.